Hey guys, so today I just want to share quickly my story so you have an overview, background on where I come from and also why I'm doing this. You'll see everything that ties in together eventually. So, first off, came here in this country. I'm in Canada right now, in Montreal, Canada, close by. And the first thing that happened is that we moved to this country coming from Chile, which is right next to Argentina. And we came here at a very small age. I was around 5 years old, and bad things were happening in that country, in my country, home country. And my father was trying to make ends meet. So I'm not gonna get into my father's background, but he did some crazy stuff. And by that, I mean he traveled the world trying to make ends meet and just trying to provide for our family. And in this case, the end route, if I could say, the ending of that hustle that he made to leave his country to go to different countries just to get a job and send us back money in itself was just crazy. He went into platforms like oil platforms in the ocean. It was, I think, a cook or cleaning. I'm pretty sure it was cook. Or also, he went to Scotland, he went to England, he went to the Pacific Ocean, like I just mentioned. And then he went to Miami and then New York and then end up in Montreal. And of course, these weren't like planned travel trips just to chill. He was just trying to make a living for us. So that's the number one base. And there's more details, but I give you a straight, quick overview so you know the backbone onto how I was raised. And my father wasn't really there. He was present, but not like I am with my son right now. So being raised by my mother, my aunt, my grandmother, became very caring, but also um, didn't develop my masculinity like the man that I was supposed to be, which is a good thing at the beginning. But when you get into relationships and also building businesses and just like sharing stuff and not being scared of doing things could be a little bit of a hurdle. So that passed, came here, 5 years old, did my whole school, my like high school and elementary, high school, then ended up doing college, got a first girlfriend, then ended up leaving her for the girl that became my wife. And this was my first wife. So I was in love with this girl. It was crazy. And we managed to stay together 5 years. There's many things that happened during those 5 years, but definitely at the beginning was extreme love, and then afterwards it was just like most relationships that you end up just, hey, you're together, so it is what it is, let's go. So that ended up abruptly when she went on a trip while I was in school. And I went back to school while I was in school for my civil engineering degree. And at the half of that trajectory, so that diploma that I was taking at college, I remember to this day being in this beat up Toyota Corolla that I bought from my twin brother for $1,500. It was purple, like burgundy. 1997 Toyota Corolla. And I was in that car just between courses, between courses or dinner. I don't remember exactly. And I remember receiving a text. I was in that car and I received a text through WhatsApp because us immigrants, right, we use WhatsApp all the time. And I received a text from her. Normally, right, we're supposed to chat. You chat with your loved ones if you have someone in your life. Saying, so she was saying like, I'm in Mexico right now, and I knew it. She was in Mexico, and that she felt good over there, and I don't know if I'm gonna come back. I'm like, what? What are you talking about, right? So trying to ask a bunch of questions, end up telling me that, look, I'm gonna tell you more about it when I come back in a few days. I'm like, what the hell is going on, right? Like, what? Like, to me, it was just like I felt she was stupid. I'm like, just like talk, right? So fast forward, she came back a few days after, and she came back while I was at school. Didn't even ask me to go pick her up. Somebody, I don't even know to this day, somebody picked her up and brought us to the apartment we were sharing at that time. And finished my school day, got the text that she's there. I'm like, what the hell? Go back home, and there she is. I'm like what's going on, right? So we got into this conversation, and she's sharing her feelings about how she's there, and she felt amazing, and that. And by the way, she was in network marketing, so she went to Mexico to visit and expand her business because she was from there. And she came back abruptly and without telling me, and now she's giving me this entire drama that this happened and we're not moving forward, blah blah blah. Ended up that she just dropped the bomb that she wanted to get divorced. Right there, right? A decision that we took together to go back to, so I can go back to school to make more money. And now I was broke. I wasn't working at that gym at the time, but I was living on not a lot of money. I have some debt, but not tremendous. And then she came back home from her trip telling me that she wanted to have a divorce with me. I cried. I think like any man would cry at least once in their life. But I cried my balls out. And I was just asking why. I'm like, why? What the hell? And by the way, side note, kind of like a funny thing. Now I feel like it was funny. At that time, I felt like it was so stupid because I'm not that type of person. But before I came back from school that day, that evening, she hid the knives and anything that could potentially harm her. And I was like, what the fuck? Right? Like, I'm never gonna kill anybody. This is nonsense. And I think a life coach gave her that tip to, like, things could get violent. So whatever. Side note, she thought that I might kill her. Crazy stuff. So crying like a baby. And I had a dog at the time. So I was looking at the dog and I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? Why do you want to just leave me like that? And after a bunch of things that I don't remember exactly everything we said, but she said one thing that stood with me, and that is the base of what I'm doing today. She said, it's very simple. You are a fucking loser. You are a fucking loser. And now I laugh. But it really hurt me deep. It hurt your ego as a man. But I couldn't say anything back. And why? Because deep inside, I knew she was right. As a core, as a man, as a human being, you and I, we are perfect. It's everything we have inside that makes us think and do certain things that give us a certain life. And at that time, I was taking a lot of bad decisions. Whether it comes to finances, I was broke. Whether it's drinking, I was drinking alcohol, hard alcohol. I wasn't like a man, like alcoholic on the floor type of guy, but I was drinking pretty much every weekend or every 2-3 days there at the week during weekends. I was smoking weed and I was playing video games. So really, I wasn't a man of value. I wasn't worthy of her at the time. That's what I believe. It's not me being feminist. No, no. If you look back, I wasn't providing anything really. So it made sense, even though it hurt my ego at that time, at that specific moment. That's when she meant when she said that you are a freaking loser. It stood with me a long time. So fast forward, ended up alone, just me, my dog, in a 1.5 apartment because I couldn't afford that apartment anymore. And with all the baggage, all the stuff, including like my mental clutter, ended up in that 1.5 apartment in Jewtown in Montreal, right next to Montreal. It was just like hell. Even though I was trying to look strong, I was just depressed for more than a year or two until something happened. I was working. I went to the gym. Actually, she told me. My ex told me like you should go to the gym. And I was like who the fuck are you, right? Tell me this thing. But I still went to the gym. Didn't like it at first. I used to play soccer all my life. Not really a gym person. But then started like feeling those endorphins. Like good, little bit more, you know, tight muscles, all that stuff. So you feel like you can have a little bit of a heads up, like just going forward. And ended up working there part-time, minimum wage. And why I'm telling you this is not just about the fact that you should go to the gym too. It really helps. But in that gym, that specific gym, I met someone that is now my wife. And I wasn't looking for someone. She came out of the blue. And look at the coincidence. I come from Chile, and this woman came to visit her uncles in here in Montreal. And she was living at the time in Barcelona. And she's Chilean. So she's Chilean. She was in Barcelona for a long time. She came because things made that she was visiting at that time. Her uncle came to Montreal, was obsessed by the gym there, so she wanted to just like, okay, no gym, no nothing. She ended up, of course, going back to the gym. And she found me there at the reception, broke, and just not looking to get into a relationship. I thought that, hey, I put that moment behind me, and at that time I was like, okay, let's have a little party at least. But I was so broke I couldn't party. I didn't have money. I had the school loan. I was super tight. And she can tell you, I had almost nothing in the fridge. I only had my dog, fridge almost empty, part-time job, paying minimum wage, school loan that was super tight and all calculated. And I was just lost at that time. So I met this girl at the reception, and I know I already spilled the beans, and she became my wife. But had a lot of hard times with her. It wasn't love at first sight, as they say, at all. So we grew from really the shit because she came here and decided to come, and I said, let's move this relationship a little bit further. And we grew from that 1.5 apartment to a little apartment that was a 3.5 in a shitty zone that ended up have been infected by bed bugs. And then we grew to another apartment. Long story short, almost 7 years passed. And during those 7 years, we just grew. We worked on ourselves. And I knew at the time, from the moment my ex-wife told me that I was a loser, that nobody will tell me that again in my life. And it was up to me. I wasn't blaming her anymore, even though at that time I was just bitching. I was just working on myself. And there's one book and one quote from a mentor. Sorry, the book was Tony Robbins' book, but this Tony Robbins book, which I still have somewhere here in my other library, led me to an amazing mentor called Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn said this thing, which is the greatest few sentences that he mentioned and that stood with me till this day. He said, in order for things to get better, you need to get better. In order for things to change, you gotta change. And he also added, don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. So that stood with me. And I knew at that point I couldn't go back. You cannot just like start blaming the government, blaming my ex, blaming the system, blaming this, blaming that. You can't. You know that it's up to you. You can get help eventually because people will most likely help you, but it's really up to you. So you seeing this right now, I'm not a proof that I'm superhuman. I don't have billions of followers, but I think people will relate to me because I'm just real. I don't talk the best English. I might not even communicate that well, but hopefully you get a little bit of authenticity through my messages. So ended up failing a lot. So divorce, remarried, going and just scraping by for years, learning digital marketing. And I said that in another video that my main business is not this. My main business is digital marketing. I run a consulting agency now and I help high ticket coaches, but that's another thing. So this, what I'm doing right now, I felt since 10 years that I've been waiting to do this. And I knew at some point that I didn't want it to end up in a bed telling my son, I wish I had done this. So this is really a journal that I'm leaving to him, and hopefully you can also get some benefit. So I know I skip a lot of details. Went to this country, did everything well, was super lost. Didn't know what I wanted to do, so I did a bunch of things, a bunch of diplomas, was scared, and ended up doing civil engineering, working in that during that time with my wife during those 10 hustled years. Ended up leaving that because I wanted to become that internet millionaire, which never happened. I wanted to do drop shipping and make millions of dollars, but I ended up learning some skills in terms of paid advertising and marketing and all that stuff. That led me to just going to an agency here in Montreal, working 4 years, and eventually leave that work. And that was 2.5 years ago. And I started just to take on extra clients because at the time I was able to just get some good referrals, good results with people, and had a base of clients. So that's what I'm doing right now as a kind of job business. And this is my purpose. This is something that I want to make my first type of thing. Like, this is what made me tick. And this is basically because I want to become the best version of myself and hopefully inspire you to become the best version of yourself. And I can say so much in a 10-minute, I don't even know how much time I've spent now on this video, but there's things that watching this that you should do in your life. And I hope that at least you can get the strength or the idea to look for something more than what you're currently doing. That's my goal. I personally have an agenda, which is teaching this to my son, because I know if I can teach him how to think and how to know himself, he's going to crush it. And if you can get some benefit from it, man, that's amazing. So that was the story. Very fast. Came here, did everything right, started smoking weed at 15, 16, was lost, didn't want to do everything that was preached by job counselors. Did one thing, finished, didn't start it. Did the other thing, finished, didn't work on it. Did the other thing, worked on it, but wasn't really passionate about it. And then afterwards, all that hustle trying to be an internet millionaire led me to marketing, which I'm doing as my main business. But throughout those 10 years, I never stopped learning. I never stopped reading the books, the mentorship, the coaching. And this is what I want to give back to people. So hopefully it resonates with you if you went through hardship, through breakup, through divorce, through setbacks. Man, I have 6 failed businesses. I didn't do only drop shipping. I did Amazon FBA. I did MLM 3 times. I did also SMMA, which got some traction. And then I started to do high ticket, helping high ticket coaches, which I'm doing right now. And my main goal with this is to eventually build a community on School, if you know the School platform. If not, there's going to be a link somewhere on my profile on YouTube. And I want to build a community that gives back. Not only gives back, but also we support each other to have a growth mindset. Because if you think you know everything, you're done. You don't know that much. I'm telling you, I don't know that much. I'm still learning. I'm never gonna be like, I'm never gonna have learned enough. There's always something to learn. There's always somewhere or someone that can teach you something that can, man, 10x your life, 10x your finances, 10x your health, 10x your mindset. So you never stop that. It's personal growth is just, it's a lifelong thing. So I want to build that community on School, and I want to make it around support, growth mindset, giving back. And I'm going to be teaching everything that I've learned, and I'm still learning, whether it's Tony Robbins, Dr. DeMartini, Joe Dispenza, Bob Proctor, which used to, before he died, I used to be in his mentorship. Amazing guy. It really changed my life. And I want to give that back to you. I want to build this trust. And I know for a fact in 2025 and on, there's a trust recession. So I know I need to create that bond, give you back, show what I'm capable of. And lastly, there's one thing around that community that I mentioned in that video. If you click on the link, you'll see it too. You'll hear it and see it too. Is that there's one law of the universe that I go by, and it's giving back. When you give back, you receive. Not maybe automatically, not in terms of financially, but you will receive back. So besides giving back to the community that I'm going to be building and also YouTube, I'm going to give back to foundations. So causes that help kids in need, kids that are going through cancer, kids that are going through a bad time. And I want you to join the movement if whatever I said today spoke to you, or whatever other video that I put out spoke to you. So I can't do this alone. I don't know everything, but I'm going to try my best to give you everything I got, everything I learned throughout the past 10 years, and also everything I'm learning so far and down the future. So Hopefully you resonate to what I said. Maybe if this um, stroke a chord, is that the, I think stroke a chord, right? Just follow me, subscribe, be on the lookout for the next videos. I'm promising and I'm committing to YouTube and my Instagram, my new Instagram account. And I am open a waiting list for the community. So that's going to be down the line, but I wanted to share with you a little bit of my background, where I was born, Chile, what happened to me, and most importantly, in the next videos, I'm going to share you how I got back up specifically. Who did I listen to? What worked, what didn't work? And hopefully down the future, I'll see you in that community that I'm going to be building. And together we can give back to kids. We can give back to that community. And it's just, yeah, it's going to be exciting. So that was for me today. Hopefully it wasn't too all over the place. I'm sorry, I'm not scripting these things. I hate things that are a script, even though I might do a few things that are a script in terms of like short form content. But these ones, I don't really script them. I hope that you sense the authenticity. And even though scripted videos get you billions of views or millions of views, good for them. I'd rather give you the raw, the truth, and stick by for the next one. Take care.